Hello again, chaps and chapettes. How are we all doing? It is lovely to see you all again, as always. Made a small observation today, guys. Have you ever noticed how the climate crisis, in inverted commas, of course, or quotation marks, whatever you want to call them, has progressed throughout the decades? Now, I've noticed this, not just today, I've noticed it for, quite a number of years now. Way back in the 1970s, a chap called Al Gore made a prediction that we would be going through an ice age within 25 years. Now, bearing in mind, this was back in the 1970s, and we are now in 2025. And as you can probably tell, we are not going through an ice age. So, of course, when that prediction failed and fell on its ass, it moved on to something called global warming, where people are in a mass panic and a mass hysteria about the world turning into a massive fireball and a massive cataclysmic event was going to happen and the world was basically going to explode or turn into a second sun. And of course, that happened throughout the 80s, 90s time, that kind of time period. And yet again, as you can tell, if you look out your window, because much of the UK at the moment is pissing down with rain, as it usually is, that too fell on its ass. So now, back in the 2010s, 2020s time, we have moved on to something called climate change. Now, the major difference with climate change is it's a very broad spectrum. You can attach many bells and whistles to it without looking like a fucking idiot. If we go through a cold spell, for example, and things start getting really cold, like, in the middle of fucking winter, for example, people go into hysterics. Oh my God, climate change is real. We are all going to freeze to death. Our crops will die. We'll be able to grow anything anymore. And mass hysteria ensues, at least for a small proportion of the population, that is. And on the flip side, if things start getting warm, like in the middle of summer, for example, mass hysteria ensues again. Oh my God, the world's going to turn into a massive fireball. There's going to be volcanic eruptions here, there, and everywhere. Everyone's going to die. We're all going to die into a massive flame of fire and brimstone. All that fucking shebang. You can attach it to climate change. If things start getting a bit wetter, like it is now, like in the UK, most of the fucking year, we have a little bit of rain and panic ensues. Oh my God, climate change is real. We are going to have monsoons, we are going to have tsunamis, we're going to have all this fucking shit. And again, mass hysteria ensues. Again, at least for a small proportion of people. And I find that very interesting, how it evolves throughout the decades simply to keep up the panic to, let's be honest here, stupid people. People who tend not to think for themselves. People who tend not to do their own research. People who tend not to listen to the professors and the scientists who get demonised and cancelled for proving that climate change is absolute bollocks. Only just recently, we have Ursula von der Leyen over in the EU saying how catastrophic climate change is going to be and how it's man-made. You see, what this fucking idiot doesn't seem to realise is that the Earth has been going through climate change for absolute centuries. Even pre-industrialisation, when, yes, pollution was rife and London was under a sea of smog, that kind of a thing, charcoal chimneys, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, it would have played a part even, excuse me guys, at that time. But hundreds of years prior, when there was no industrialisation, there were no cars, no factories, no chimneys, the world was still going through climate change. It's part and parcel of the planet. You see, that's the thing, guys. Stupidity tends to spread like wildfire. It's like a common cold. When common sense, on the other hand, and sanity, tends to lay dormant, sadly. Only the very best of us, people like me and you, have that common sense. I just find it astonishing. and very transparent how people can still buy into this bullshit, buy into the cataclysmic, the word that I can't say is going to happen to this world. It's been happening for decades upon decades and decades, and people still continue to swallow it. I find it amazing. I just thought I'd bring this very small point to you. Do let me know what you think in comments, guys. Do you agree or do you disagree? Who knows? Let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in a bit. Cheers. Oh, don't forget your sunscreen.